Cult of Cthulhu. They offer flesh and whispers to a sleeping monster, hoping for immunity when the evil god opens his eyes. The Cult of Cthulhu, from H.P. Lovecraft's 1928 short story, The Call of Cthulhu, is a global group that worships Cthulhu, a great cosmic entity with grotesque features who sleeps beneath the Pacific Ocean in a dreamlike state. Cult followers believe that one day Cthulhu will awaken and reclaim the earth, bringing destruction and chaos. Most gods demand worship, but this one doesn't need to, as it can simply take control. Even while in his dreamlike state, Cthulhu sends disturbing dreams and visions to sensitive individuals, inspiring madness and influencing them to join his cult. They carve his name into stone and flesh in secretive rituals, believing blood sacrifices and worshipping grotesque idols of Cthulhu honor and hasten the awakening of their god. Cthulhu lies dormant under the Pacific Ocean, his cult sacrifices piling up. When he wakes, will their devotion be enough to save them? Children of the Corn, a ghost town ruled by children, a prophet preaching terror, a force lurking in the corn, unseen but all-powerful. The adults are dead? But why? The Children of the Corn, from Stephen King's 1977 short story, are a group of children in the town of Gatlin who are under the influence of a mysterious entity called He Who Walks Behind the Rose. The cult of children takes over the town and executes anyone over the age of 18. Two eerie children control the cult, one with words, the other with violence. Isaac is the manipulative and charismatic leader who controls the children through fear and dogma, while his brutal enforcer, Malachi, is violent and unpredictable. Individually powerful, their combined strength makes them nearly unstoppable. But beyond them, a darker, more mysterious presence lurks. Something ancient watches from the fields. They say it demands blood. But what is it really? He who walks behind the rose is the malevolent force the children worship. The entity is never truly seen except through its evil influence over the children, turning them into bloodthirsty killers. Some believe it is an ancient god, a demon, or even an alien intelligence. The children kill in its name, but the true horror lurks unseen, waiting, watching, hungering. The town belongs to the Corn now. War boys, born sick and raised to die, they throw themselves into war, starving and desperate, clinging to the one promise keeping them alive. The war boys from the Mad Max universe are young, sickly, radiation-poisoned soldiers who don't care about pain or death. They serve their leader, Immortan Joe, who has brainwashed them into believing in Valhalla, a warrior's afterlife, making them see death as the highest honor. They fight, they die, and they beg for his approval, but their sacrifice was never theirs to choose. He has built an entire system of tricks and strategies to manipulate and control them. War boys are often sick from radiation, and Immortan Joe tells them their only path to glory is through sacrifice in battle. Furthermore, he keeps them desperate by rationing water and rewarding them with brief luxuries, keeping them on the edge of survival. They throw themselves into battle without hesitation, chasing glory with wild devotion, until, at the brink of death, they reach for something shining. When they charge into what they believe will be their glorious death, they spray chrome on their mouths, a ritual that signifies something sacred to them, a sign of glory, a war cry, and proof of their devotion to Immortan Joe. And in the end, their devotion means nothing at all. Just fuel for Immortan Joe's endless war. Cult of Set. Escape is easy if you could only remember what you're running from. The Cult of Set from the 1982 film Conan the Barbarian is a powerful snake-worshipping cult led by their sinister leader, Thulsa Doom. The cult worships the dark god Set and offers its followers the illusion of enlightenment and belonging. But in truth, it consumes them entirely. No one resists, not because they can't, but because he's already taken the part of them that would. As the evil ringleader, Thulsa has the supernatural hypnotic ability to bend minds with his gaze and voice. He believes flesh is stronger than steel. Inside the cult, he is not seen as a man, but rather as a god king, with his transformation into a snake reinforcing this idea, making his followers believe he is more than just human. No one betrays a god. No one even dares to think of it, leaving members stuck within the cult due to fear and the influence of his mind control abilities. The Cult of Set does not trap you. It makes you forget escape was ever an option. Eden's Gate. Eden's Gate promises heaven but drags you through hell, where salvation costs your sanity, freedom fades, and escape is impossible. Eden's Gate from Far Cry 5 is a doomsday cult led by Joseph Seed, who believes he was chosen by God to prepare for the inevitable collapse of society. The cult uses intense and extreme methods of saving people, brainwashing, violence, and murder to forcefully convert followers. First, they take your town. Then they take your mind. Eden's Gate doesn't wait for volunteers. Joseph Seed, also called the Father, preaches that society is corrupt and doomed, and only those who follow him will be saved. His followers believe they are on a divine mission to cleanse Hope County, Montana, gathering as many people as possible before the world collapses. However, conversion isn't optional. They kidnap, drug and torture anyone who resists, calling it atonement. Eden's Gate doesn't just control people, it owns them. People are forced to convert. There is surveillance and paranoia. Cultists roam the streets armed, looking for any sign of defiance. Eden's Gate controls everything necessary for survival. There is no way out. The final choice, die fighting or submit. Project Mayhem. It started as freedom from everything society says you need. It ended with destruction, chaos, and you lost in the middle, wondering who you're fighting, or if it even matters. Project Mayhem from the 1999 film Fight Club is an anarchistic cult created by Tyler Durden, the explosive alter ego of a nameless protagonist trapped in a life of consumerism and emptiness. Tyler offered angry, disillusioned men purpose and power through underground fight clubs. But fighting wasn't enough. Soon, bruises turned to bombs and rebellion escalated into terrorism. Followers traded individuality for blind obedience, stripped of names and faces, becoming anonymous soldiers devoted entirely to chaos. Their goal was simple yet catastrophic: destroy society's foundations to reset humanity, erasing debts, institutions, and identities. Project Mayhem demanded absolute loyalty, forcing members into extreme acts of violence and vandalism, turning frustration into fanaticism. In the end, Tyler's followers stood expendable in the ruins, sacrificed for an ideology that imprisoned them more than society.